Hey guys, today we're going to do a video on knot tying. I'm just going to do a video on the knots that I use. Everybody says that they have the strongest knot, or this knot never breaks, and well, sometimes the strongest knot is not the most practical knot. Sometimes the strongest knot is kind of the slow way of going about things. Sometimes I just want a strong enough knot. And I'm going to go with you on the knots that I tie and when I use them, what instances I use them. So for video purposes, I have green braid, so that way it'll be seen. And but I'll explain what lines I use each knot with. All right, so I'm going to put the GoPro mount on my head so you guys can see what I'm doing. All right. Alright, so this is actually the second time that I've made this video. The first time I did not have this the GoPro aimed at my hands. So we're gonna go here and do this again. So first knot, this is what I primarily tie most of the time on something like a chatterbait, a spinnerbait, something along the lines of that. Something that I need to be relatively strong, but it doesn't have to be the strongest knot. I use it when I'm throwing straight braid or mono. So you'll come through your eye, straight through like that, put your finger through, and I'll do about 4 or 5 twists, and maybe 6, either way it works. Go back through your loop that you have your finger at, and then back through the loop that you just made. Pull it like, I don't always cinch it down tight. Usually a little bit of water, a little bit of saliva, something, and then cinch it down tight. That's a pretty strong knot, pretty quick knot. It's not going to give up. I do not tie this knot with fluorocarbon because fluorocarbon has a tendency of pulling. I'll show you the version with that. When I cut my tag ends, I always leave a little bit of tag end. I don't worry about cutting it down super close because everything that a fish eats has pinchers or spikes, so that little bit of tag end is not going to affect the fish. So that's the single version. Now on something that I need a lot of abrasion resistance against rocks, something that it's going to go on the bottom like a jig or a Texas rig, something where there's going to be a weight or a bead bouncing off of it like on a Texas rig or a Carolina rig. I do the same knot, but I double it, and this is also if I'm throwing straight fluorocarbon, I do this knot. So what I do is come through, come back through, be sure to give yourself plenty of space, and you got it pulled through like that, still back through, or put your finger to make the loop, and then you do the exact same knot just with it doubled. Usually about 4 times when it's doubled is good enough. Through the loop that you made, back through the loop that you made, don't cinch it down tight, a little saliva, cinch it down, and then cut. Now you have 2 forms of tag ends that you have to cut off. I usually have scissors for braid, but we're using the nail clippers here, so I'm kind of just pulling at it too. But that knot is going to give you a lot of abrasion resistance against rocks because this bait's going to be dragging down close to the bottom when it stands up. It's constantly, if you look, your knot's taking a lot of your impact. So this knot has a lot of abrasion resistance. I tie this, and when I'm doing fluoro, to keep it from pulling through, I always do a double version. So there's the second knot that I use, and then the third knot that I use pretty frequently is the Polymer knot. It's probably the quickest knot to tie. Pull some extra tag end off because it's not, it gets pretty big. Double it through, and then you're going to make a loop, and then you open the two pieces together. Pull the whole bait through, a little saliva to pull it down tight. There you go. That is literally the fastest knot you can tie. On a crankbait, that tag end or your knot is not going to be taking a lot of the abuse, because that bill's going to dig into a rock and flip up over. It's going to hit the bottom. Your knot really doesn't take a whole lot of abuse on a crankbait, a jerkbait, any of your hard baits. So you don't really need the abrasion resistance. You just need a good strong knot. So there's no need in spending a whole lot of time tying a super strong knot. That knot is plenty strong enough for about anything you do. So I typically do not throw crankbaits on braid. I either use most of the time fluorocarbon, because it lets the bait get down a little deeper because of the thinner diameter. But I used braid for you guys to be able to see it. So those are the 3 knots that I use, and when I use them. So I'm sure somebody out there is going to tell you that they have a stronger knot that works better, and it may for them. But these are what I do, and I don't have a problem breaking off. No more than, if you hook this jig in a log that's on the bottom and bury it up past the barb, you're probably gonna break off at your knot no matter what knot you tied. So, or straighten your hook out. So, but that's what I use, guys. So appreciate it. Thanks for following along. Hit the like and subscribe. All right.